Everybody, it's been so long since I've seen some of you. It's 8:37 for this meeting of the Ware Finance Committee. In terms of roll call, we're going to just make it easy for Leah right out of the gate. Rachel is probably going to be here late. She's not here right now, and I don't see Dennis. But I'm going to read through them.
I thought Dennis sold and closed his home.
He did. I was just trying to make it official here. So we're going to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll just run through who's here, if you guys don't mind, to make this quick. We've got Chris Haig, Neil Kirk, Leah Borla, Bill Anderson, Gary Evans, James. Why is James' last name escaping me? Holy cow. Drury. Sorry. Megan Thelen, Nicola Herbst, which I always say wrong, Tammy Hagman, and Tom Clow. I get everybody? Perfect. So for tonight's meeting, we're not going to have subcommittee meetings. I know that we didn't do an agenda because the sole intent is to address the two Ware school district articles, both of which were amended this evening. And so I think, so do we have a copy of the amended article, Megan? That was the only thing I didn't kind of plan on here. Megan.
Megan's muted.
Megan?
Sorry. I
was
trying to go to the SAU's website to see if they had it on there, because Jackie said that everything was uploaded there.
She did say that.
So I'm going to look now to see if they have it there.
Can you able to put the link to that in the meeting chat window for us, please?
Yeah.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, but
You're not really. It's okay. It's not that complex. All right, here's the link to where the documents are, and I'm just looking to see they have an updated revenue, proposed versus default. Yep, there is.
I would like to pull it up at the same time. That way one of us can put it on a screen.
I'm just looking to make sure that this matches. Nope, this is not the updated figures.
And this is, and admittedly, and I apologize to the committee, but this is the one thing I didn't think about. They're going to amend it. I do have the email from Jackie stating what they're intending to do, but because the article wasn't amended until just a few minutes ago.
I mean, I wrote down what the numbers are, but
the numbers were updated on the sheets that they gave us. If we need to just input the numbers or change.
Okay, so read it as it originally stated and just update the numbers for our discussion is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
That was the only thing that was updated was the numbers. They just.
Yeah, it seems so obvious right now, and I'm so glad that you're here. Honest to God. So Megan, how do I bring those up here? I'm in the budget information section.
all right, so if you scroll down and it's below the deliberative session, it says, I signed Ware School District 2021 school warrant. Do you see that?
Yeah, and my intent is to share with everybody. That's why I'm going through this trouble here. Okay, and so I think what I'll do is I'll just read it as is, and I'll pause at the number. And Megan, you have the number, or Tammy has the number. One of you can just read what the amended number is, please.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, so we're talking, and let me clarify here. And Neil, help me procedurally, but at the end of the day, Article 3 and Article 4 have materially changed, which means any work we did previous is null, which means we are talking about a brand new article. Is that correct?
Technically, no, but as a practical matter, fine.
Okay, thanks. Love it. Making it easy for me. So we're going to read this as it's a new article, and we can address the similarities in the debate, I guess. So, shall the Ware School District raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by vote of the first session for the purposes set forth therein, totaling
$16,537,569.
um,
Have that same number.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
thank you. Should this
Thanks,
article
Tom.
be defeated, the default budget shall be
It's the same, the $16,563,068. So
Wanna
that
make
didn't
sure-
change.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Which is, sorry, someone commented.
She
Okay.
said, "You're welcome."
Which is the same as last year with certain adjustments required by previous action of the district or by law, or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 4013, section 10 and section 16. Is that 16?
Yes.
XVI, whatever the Roman numerals are, to take up the issue of a revised operating budget only. This warrant is article supported by the school board, majority vote required. So I need
I have a question.
yeah, I'm sorry, who was that?
Did you say that the proposed number was the same as the default?
No, the default number did not change.
Okay,
Tom paused as if I was to read the new default number, and I was saying
sorry.
the default, no, you're fine. I thought it was gonna be confusing when I said that. It's fine. The default number did not change.
Tom, may I make a motion?
Yes, please.
I move we recommend the proposed budget for the school, Article 3.
I second that.
May I speak to my motion?
You may.
The proposed budget is $25,499 lower than the default. What the school board has done is to remove the $123,000 that they are saving from the retirement of those 4 teachers and reduce the salary, in effect, reduce the salary lines by that amount. They also made roughly a $25,000 reduction because they found some CARES money that they could use to pay for the technology people they wanted to make, not full-time, but throughout the year. And that came out to a result that they're down 25,000 below the default budget. This is a no-brainer, guys. We don't have to have discussion of this for 16 years. Let's just vote on this. One other thing you should know, because it's related, as a result of their using the $123,000 properly to reduce the salaries in the proposed budget, they don't have that money to use in the teacher's contract. And when we get there, you'll see that the teacher's contract went up by $123,000 to a total now of $128,000 or $129,000. But that's Article 4. So I think it's a no-brainer. They've done the work carefully. It's a proper budget. Let's vote for it.
So just to clarify, Neil, you're saying that they shifted one amount of money from the budget to another article, and then they subtracted the 25,000. And so if you take those 2 articles, we're looking at 25,000 less. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I just clarify? I don't think they didn't shift. They just more, in my opinion, more accurately represented what Article 4's cost is to the taxpayer.
You're
Right.
correct. That's a better way to put it, Megan.
Is there any other discussion or debate?
Well, apparently we're not allowed to discuss, so let's just move on.
Of course you are. Since when would you take that direction?
Never.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I was just making sure I'm sorry, did someone else have a comment? Okay. I'm gonna just say, obviously, I do agree with Neil, and I just want to thank Neil, and I forget who else brought the attention of how they worded Article 4. I know it's directly related to this, so that was pretty cool to see, and I appreciate that work, and I was pretty happy to see that. So let's
Can I ask a clarifying question real quick?
yeah.
Are they going to stick with this format from this point on when creating the budget?
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume, since they got legal counsel that pointed in this direction, that Neil was correct.
Okay,
That they would do it moving forward. And let's be clear, like in the articles that we looked at for Stark, I believe they followed the proper format. And I don't want to drag in another article, but for Neil, isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct, but that was because they didn't have the same excuse me. That may have been because they did not have the same opportunity with the retirement of teachers. Apparently, nobody is really retiring there
Yeah,
and
fair
saving a
point.
significant amount of money.
Jackie,
okay. I just wanted
Jackie
to,
did clarify that tonight, that that's how they will do it going forward.
okay, just to make sure that we're not gonna have to do this every single year. It would be nice if they stuck with it.
Thank you.
I don't think you're going to see it happen where we'll have a problem in the future. I don't know. My discussion I had with Chris up there, he told me that he and the superintendent are trying to not create, even though it was not intended to be that way, it would be very easily perceived by the taxpayers that they were getting a little clever in how they presented these two articles, and they don't want that to be a perception problem in the future. They want to be more straight up. So I don't think you'll see this happen again.
That's great.
So one last time, any other comments or debate on this before we vote? Okay, with none, we are voting on whether to recommend Article 3 for the Ware School District. We will start in our previous order, which starts with all four, excuse me, vote for yay or nay is what I meant to say, starting with Megan,
Yay.
Leah,
Yay.
Neil,
Yes,
Chris,
Yes,
Tom,
Yes,
Gary,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Dennis, I'm sorry, Dennis is here, Tammy,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Rachel,
We,
Oh, and
she sent an email saying that she probably wasn't.
yeah, I
gonna
just
be
didn't know if she had joined, so all good.
Okay.
And then lastly, Bill,
Yes.
and I, Tom Downing, am a yay. So we have voted to recommend. So that would be 11 to 0.
11, yes.
Correct. I am correct. I'm talking to myself. Okay, so Bill, it probably makes sense to go right to your blurb and just so we can be done, right?
That's
That's
fine.
the process
That's
we
fine.
followed before.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, let me, and so Bill, I don't know if I wrote this to everybody, I thought I did, but Bill worked on a preemptive strike here. Blurb. So I'm gonna pull it up and we'll do just as we did previously, where we'll read it and we'll take input on refining if need be. So there's there's the finance table, there it is. Give me a second, it's just loading and I'll share my screen. I am not getting cooperation here. Oh, there it is.
See if you got the right version. I gave you
Yeah,
about-
so Bill, what I'm looking, and that's a great point. I'm on the one that was sent at 2:29 PM today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's, okay, and I'm gonna bring it up. And Naomi, could I please have share screen ability?
You should have it.
Okay, I did, sorry, I just assumed I didn't have it. Here we go. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
yes.
yes.
Yes,
Okay, so I'm just gonna read it, and we'll start with just me reading it here. We're talking about Article 3 of the operating budget. Recommended will be, and I'm just gonna track changes. Let me just do that quick. Track changes on. So it's recommended 11 to 0. The committee supports this article. The district, in response to concerns expressed earlier by the committee, made a substantive correction at, was that?
substantive.
Substantive. I knew I got it wrong. Substantive correction at the 17th of February deliberative session, which reduced the proposed budget below the level of the default budget. The savings in salaries and benefits for senior teacher retirements has now been correctly incorporated into the proposed budget. Those savings were previously being used to reduce the tax impact for the teacher's contract extension. The proposed and default budgets, when adjusted for grant reimbursements, represent a 2.54% and 2.70% increase respectively over the current operating budget. The mandated pension and a potential rise in healthcare premiums were the primary factors driving the increase. Approving the proposed budget will also more accurately align budget categories with actual expenditures. It seems accurate, but it's a lot. But so I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris.
We put the last sentence first or after the committee supports this article, and take out also, because then the explanation that follows would be quite logical.
Good point, Chris. I like that.
Okay, one moment. So you're saying delete also, and then cut.
And put it after supports this article.
I still do 2 spaces. My kids tell me it's wrong, but I'm putting 2 spaces.
It's
I
old
have a
school, but
whole
it still
novel
works.
with 2 spaces that I have to
Yeah.
reformat.
The way I was taught, one of the few things I remembered in school. Okay, sorry. So with Chris, so does anybody have any concerns? Does that look good so far?
I do agree with you. I think it seems long. Seems like an awful lot.
I think that, yeah. So I'm sorry, Gary. I think I might have cut you off. Go ahead, please.
No, I just see the same thing. I think it seems really like a lot, though.
So do we really need to say in response to concerns? I think anybody that's paying attention knows that the school board eventually listened to us.
Yeah.
And so do we really need to say that? Or can we
Yeah,
just cut this down?
I put that in there. I thought it was important because otherwise, I think we ought to toot our own horn a little bit that we're out there.
Fair enough.
You know, otherwise people will say, "Oh, isn't that nice that the school district decided to do this?" Well, it was suggested to them strongly, and they went to their lawyer and they said, "Gee, this is the right way to do it." So, I think the taxpayers need to know that, hey, we're looking out for you to more accurately reflect how things are presented.
Do we need the sentence, "Those savings were previously being used"? I mean,
I agree with you. Let's look at that sentence because that's sort of redundant.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like what Bill's saying. If he wants to toot our horn, then so be it. But if there's an opportunity to remove a sentence, this seems like one of them.
I think it's the only one.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like, and I can put it back and undo.
And my only other comment would be that in that third sentence, do we really need to put, can't we just put in response to concerns expressed by the committee? Do we need to include earlier by? Go over to the end of that line.
Oh, what you're saying is do this in response.
Just take
Right.
out earlier by.
Yeah.
I don't know if it, to kind of shorten a little bit without taking away the substance of what we're trying to say.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I have no
Yeah, just
problem.
take out the earlier. I think you need the by.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Yeah.
What about the date? Is that correct format for February 17?
That's fine.
Well, we could take out and just say at the deliberative session. You don't even have to say 17 February, I suppose. We're looking to cut back words.
Oh, there you go. That's a good point.
There you go.
And deliberative session should not be capitalized.
Oh, okay.
We think it's a big deal.
I thought Chris would have caught that one by now.
I get so mixed up on those.
Tom, we lost the words "the district." So in response to concerns
Yeah.
expressed by the committee, the district made, or the district, comma, in response. But
Oh, I thought I was removing that. Sorry.
No.
What you're saying is put this back.
yeah, either there or someplace else. But yes, we need to know who is making the substantive correction.
Substantive. That's it.
Big word.
The accent is on the first syllable.
Yes.
Tom, you need a comma after district.
Thanks, Neil. I felt there was a comma shy, but I couldn't figure out where it was supposed to go. District response. Yeah. Okay, for all the teachers, do we look correct now? Grammatically? I used to give this stuff to my wife, who's a teacher, but now I give it to my daughter, who's way smarter than me as a senior.
And she'll tell you so, won't she?
She gives me a hard time about the double space every time. And I would just, why do you double space? She yells at me. So I just don't ask. All right. So I think we're good on this. Is there anything else that we missed? Are we all in agreement here?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I'm fine.
Okay. Let me just fix the spacing here. Oh, figured it bumped it down, but let's just do this.
Is there supposed to be commas around respectively?
Where?
Where? I'm sorry.
The
Where?
third line up.
Third line from the bottom?
Yeah, third line from the bottom. The respectively
No.
almost.
That's
fine.
is-
No,
is
because
fine.
you're,
Okay.
you're
I
increasing.
never know. I'm like, is there or isn't there?
Not in the way the sentence is structured right now. There are
Okay.
some ways of you would do that, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you put it first, you'd need a comma.
You know, if we keep this up, we're going to change the name of the committee from the Ware Finance to the committee to the Ware Pedantry Committee.
I'm glad somebody didn't add oscopy to their colon comment.
Okay.
Okay. So we're good with this blurb as is?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's go back. Let me just switch tabs here. Oh boy, I lost it. There it is. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing and read Article 4.
This is not the right article.
I'm sorry, what?
That's not the amended article.
We don't
Correct.
have the amended.
Yeah, we're reading. Neil, what we did was we read, because the only thing that changed is the number.
Okay.
We read it as written, but Megan inserted verbally the actual number because we don't have the finalized version. Is that okay with you guys?
Absolutely, that's fine.
Okay. So shall the Ware School District vote to improve the cost items included in the collective bargaining agreement reached between the Ware School Board and the Ware Education Association, which calls for the following increases in salaries and benefits at the current staffing levels over those paid in the prior fiscal year? So 2021-2022, Megan,
$129,318.
and further raise and appropriate the sum of,
$129,318. Is that what you have, Tom?
Yep.
Tom, too?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Just make sure.
thank you, for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Such sum representing the additional costs attributable to the increase in salaries and benefits over those of the appropriation at the current staffing levels. This warrant article is supported by the school board. This appropriation is in addition to warrant article 3. Somebody just spoke. Okay, well, we'll just leave it at that. You don't need the end of it. So we need a motion.
I move.
Make
I'll
a
make a
motion to
motion to
recommend.
recommend.
I move.
Jinx.
Seconded.
I can't second it now. Ah,
Leah, do you
Jinx.
have who made the motion seconded?
I have no idea.
Try that again. Who made the motion?
Megan,
Who seconded?
I did, Gary.
Gary, okay.
So discussion and debate, please.
This, just so everybody knows, this represents, I think Bill told me, 14 cents on the tax rate, $35 for a $250,000 house. And increases, Bill will tell us, increases our percentage raise from X to Y.
Anybody else?
I think that that's the way it was structured, with it being just a career step, was a fair way for both the union and the school district to go about handling raises this year. I think that the overall average of 2.8% is reasonable, which is why I would vote for it.
I'll chirp in next, I guess. I'll be consistent in how I voted on the other raises, which was in the minority, but I again think that, as has been stated at the public sessions, that 1.3% is what a lot of people are getting. Some are operating on reduced hours, or household income has gone down. And I think that it would have been more appropriate to ask for about a 1.3% or 1.5%. The town raises a 3% that they proposed. The Stark raise will be consistent with this one. I just thought that this was a year that lower would have been more appropriate and more supportive. And also, what wasn't brought up tonight is, although the teachers are paying a portion of 15% of any, the 15% portion of any healthcare increases, the taxpayers are still supporting 85% of that increase, and as well as the increased pensions contributions. So even though it's indirect, the taxpayers are already paying to support the teachers in that. So that's why I would vote. I would still vote no.
Yeah, I'm going to add, Bill, a little bit to that too. That there, should this article be defeated for this year, there's nothing there is nothing to keep the union from requesting a two-step increase the following year. So even if they're held where they are right now, the next contract, the next year, they could ask for 2 steps to bring them back up.
I'm just gonna speak and just say my understanding, and maybe somebody can correct me wrong, isn't the 15% that the teachers pay, or their portion of it, isn't that standard for schools? I believe this is like one of my questions when I first started in the finance committee, and I thought that I had been told that that was standard, that breakdown of the 85, that was, or 15%, 85% was standard, and that's why that is the breakdown, because that's standard in the school districts in New Hampshire. The other thing that they brought up tonight was that, so where's average salary for a school teacher is $48,000. The state's average is $59,000, and we all know that some towns, cities are richer than others. But then when you looked at like what just our neighboring town was, Henniker, which is kind of basically the same demographics as us, very much so, it's $55,000. That's a big gap. I mean, and this isn't meant to fill a gap. This is basically just the teachers coming and saying, you know, we realize the tough times that, you know, COVID has brought and everything. We just want to continue along our step increase. And I get that, yes, next year they could come and they could ask for a 2-step increase. But I think they're being honest and being like, no, we just want to continue along the way that we're going now, and they're being respectful of taxpayers. Of saying we just want to continue along the steps that we have now. We don't want to ask for the world. We just want to continue along our step increase, and basically just a contract extension for 1 year. And what next year brings, who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that these people don't make much money, and they work very hard. I think we should show some appreciation to these teachers. And they really have, I think, bent over backwards to keep this low.
As far as answering, Megan, your question about insurance, I worked for the Manchester district for many years as a teacher and administrator, and that was the standard there. The employee paid 15% and the district paid 85%.
But Tom, isn't that something that's varies from district to district? There is
Yes, of course. Yes.
There's no legal standard, no legal requirement.
No. It's a negotiated amount by the the union and the district, but it's pretty common. I'm pretty sure you'd find that. I know that I was the chief negotiator for the principal for many years, and we compared, and didn't go off that number because we didn't see it higher or lower in neighboring areas.
So hypothetically, if a town such as ours, who they pay their teachers below the average, and then they went and said, well, we want our teachers to pay 20% or 25% or whatever it may be, then that could, for lack of better words, run teachers out of town and also prevent them from coming, because they could go someplace else, make more money, and pay less for health insurance.
Yeah, sure, it goes both ways. It's part of
No.
compensation packages, right? So if we were lower and we were 10%, that might be more attractive as well. If they're paying more, it's seen as a pay cut. I'm
Well, and
not trying to argue
that's what
either
I'm just
way.
saying, just to the point of, oh, we pay too much, the town of Ware pays too much for their percentage of health insurance. I'm just being a devil's advocate of, well, if we upped their percentage, so that we didn't have as much of a burden, as you will, that, that could be a deterrent for teachers staying and coming here.
Let me try to inject a different element into this argument. If we're to be consistent, if the committee is to be consistent, we've approved 3% raises for town employees. We've approved 2.5 or something percent raises for Stark employees. It's only just that we approve 2.8, I think Tom said it was, percent raise for Ware School District employees. Balancing that is the fact that we are in a COVID year, and there are a lot of people, 400 and some odd, who lost their jobs in this town. And for many people, this is a burden. So I think those are the two things that we have to balance. I know that we've done it one way before. We don't have to do it this way. But to me, those are the considerations. And how you vote depends upon which of those considerations you think is more important.
I can just add, Neil, that with the three of them combined is 14 cents on the Ware School raises, 7 cents on the town, and 6 on John Stark, for a total of 27 cents, which is about a $68 bill on a $250,000 house. So it's about the price of a plow truck.
Just to clarify, the average increase they said was 2.3%. Not that it matters hugely, but just so that we're accurate.
2.3.
Really,
Is that for Ware?
It comes out to 27 cents for the three combined, no matter what it is.
No. I'm just saying, Neil had quoted that the average raise was 2.9% for teachers. And I just wanted to clarify that it was 2.3%. So that if someone looks at our notes or they're listening to this, that, that we're giving accurate data. That's all.
Thank you, Megan. I was just quoting what Tom had said. So
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I had heard 2.8%. I might be wrong, but I thought that's what I heard at tonight's meeting.
I think tonight I heard 2.3, but that's
Yeah,
the
it was
first time I
That's
heard.
what I wrote down, 2.3 tonight.
The
I
only
also
I've
wrote
ever
down
heard is
2.3.
the 950 to 1400 range. So I never tried to apply a percentage because it's going to be different depending where you are.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I understand may I?
Yes, Tom.
I understand certainly the whole issue of the COVID times, pandemic times that we live in. But I also can see the point of view that was stated tonight about the pressure on teachers in this time. I can't imagine it, trying to shuffle between hybrid learning and remote learning and in the class now and then, and just the whole thing has got to be a very difficult time. And I think if it's 2.3 or whatever, to say no to the Ware teachers where we're saying yes to the Stark teachers and to town employees, be kind of a slap in the face. And I think it's a real thing. We're talking about drawing teachers here. This increase isn't going to draw a lot of teachers, but the environment that people work in is important too. We found that with the police department, that we've had people come back to us from Manchester who took jobs there because the environment here is worth the cut in pay to come back to Ware. So, you know, I think that we are showing respect to what's happened in our schools over the last year or more by supporting the pay raise.
So I'd like to ask if anybody, is there anybody who hasn't spoken to this before I comment? I want to give everybody else an opportunity.
Yes.
I have, yeah, sorry.
So Nicole spoke up first, so can we let her go first?
Yes.
I agree with Tom C. My opinion is still the same as before, that they're frontline workers and they've had to deal with extraordinary circumstances, and I would vote yes for this. Thank you.
Tammy, I think that was you next, right?
Yes. A couple of points here. There was just a couple of years ago that the school started the school year without having enough teachers for every class. And from the description that I recall, it was because teachers didn't want to take such a low starting pay to come to Ware. It's a $7,000 difference between the next lowest pay on the scale that they gave us. And, you know, there's been times when I've gotten communications from my daughter's teacher at 10 o'clock at night. They're putting so much extra effort into creating extra lesson plans and everything else. They're also going to be contributing more into their insurance costs. I think that they more than deserve a 2.3 increase.
Let's vote.
I would like to speak. Can I speak?
No.
Chairman, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to give the courtesy to everybody that wants to speak first. For anybody that was listening, I sincerely feel embarrassed at what we're paying our school teachers. And I don't think 2.3% makes even a significant impact on this. This is more symbolic, I believe. I can't tell you how many times over the last, I've been here 16 years, how many times I've seen what our teacher salaries are. And I continue to be shocked. It's like I kind of forget about it. And then today it was in my face again. And I truly think it's embarrassing. I do understand there's a benefit of coming to a small town, and I can appreciate that. But I think the difference is far too different, or there's too broad of a difference between what we pay our teachers and other similar towns. And so for me, this is really a no-brainer to support the teachers. And with that, I would propose that we go to a vote. So we will start in our usual order, yay or nay, starting with Megan to recommend Article 4.
Yay, recommend it
Wait, hold on.
enthusiastically.
Oh, hold on. Let me catch up. Hold on.
I'm sorry, Leah.
My fingers can only move so fast.
We're glad you're feeling better. You look better.
I do feel better. Thank you. Are you saying that I look terrible, Tom? Is that
No,
what
I'm
you're
just saying
telling
you
me?
look happy and healthy. You're smiling.
You're in trouble, Tom.
Oh my God. Tom, you live with 3 girls. Watch
I
yourself.
do. She looks wonderful. She looks happy. It's all about looking happy.
Okay, I'm good. Let's go.
All right, so we're gonna go to Megan, which I'm sorry, Megan already said. Yeah, excuse me.
Yay.
Next is Leah.
Yes.
Neil,
No.
Chris,
Yes.
Tom C,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
James,
No.
Tammy,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
and Rachel's not here, correct? Just want to double check. Okay. Bill,
No.
and myself, I'm a yes.
8-3.
Yes. I missed somebody here. Megan, me, Neil, Chris, Tom, Gary, James, Tammy, Nicole, Bill, Tom D. Who did I
Right.
miss?
Well, I mean, if it's
On
8 to 3,
12?
there's 11.
James,
That's
Neil,
11.
Bill are no's, everybody else is a yes.
Rachel's not here and
Was that it?
And Dennis moved.
Dennis isn't here anymore.
Yeah, Leah, if your total is 11, then we have it.
Okay, yep, I got them all then.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we voted to recommend Article 4 by a vote of 8, 4, and 3 against. I'm going to go to the blurb. Insert 8, 3. And I'll do as I did before and read Bill's preemptive strike here. So by a vote of 8 to 3, the committee supports this article. Recognizing how COVID has impacted everyone, the teachers union this year elected to request only an extension of the contract. If this article is approved, teachers will be eligible to receive step increases and off-scale adjustments. This equates to an annual increase of $900 to $1,400 per teacher. There will be no adjustments in pay scale or benefits. If not approved, teachers' pay would remain at current levels with no step adjustments and possibly a small decrease due to health premiums. The committee believes teachers are on the front lines and have had a difficult year making adjustments on the fly amongst in-person, hybrid, and remote learning. If not approved, the committee expressed concern over the impact it would have on our historical hiring and retention difficulties, especially in math and sciences. Savings in salaries / benefits for retiring teachers has been applied to reduce Article 3 and is no longer being applied to offset the cost of this article. This provides voters clearer information on the tax impact of their vote. Committee members in the minority did not support raises at this level in a year where COVID has impacted household incomes.
Mr. Chairman, I suggest we remove all of the bolded language, including the last sentence. It was
Neil, I'm sorry. I was going to ask if you could put some context to that because I have some feelings too, and I'm just wondering if you feel the same thing.
I will. Two reasons. The first two of the bolded sentences complicate things, and we've already made that statement as far as we need to make it in Article 3. The last line is inappropriate, although it happens to be accurate, because the vote was 8 to 3, and I think the discussion was, the agreement was that unless we got up to 5 or 6, whatever the number was, but it wasn't 3, we would not put in minority views.
Bill's saying 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
4 or 5, it doesn't matter.
I got 4. I'm being silenced.
I agree with taking that out.
Yeah,
I agree also.
Yes.
yeah, we only got 3, so I agree. It doesn't reach my number 4 either. So yeah, I got to take it out.
One other thing I would add is that before the sentence, if not approved, it's roughly, the if is the last word in the 5th line down.
This one, right? You're talking about right
No.
here, Neil.
4
No.
up.
No,
Middle of the paragraph.
This one?
Next,
Nope, go down.
One more.
I'm looking for the next if.
It's
the next if is the
Next line, all the way over to the right.
This one?
Nope, go down. One more.
You said one line down. I'm
Right
just
there.
saying.
okay. Before that if, insert, this represents an average 2.3% increase.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This represents an average of 2.3%.
No, an average 2.3% increase. There you go. Period. The only thing I would ask, Tom, if this eventually winds up in the blurb, is that you check with the district tomorrow to make sure that the 2.3% is the accurate number and it's not 2.8 or some other number.
You're talking to Tom D, not Tom C, correct?
I'm talking to Tom D, yes.
Yeah.
Neil, if it is 2.8, are you okay with leaving the wording alone, but just put 2.8 in?
Yes, obviously, whatever the correct number is from the district is the number that goes in there.
Megan, would you do me a favor while we're working through this? Do you want to just send a note back to, was it Jackie or Chris?
Yeah.
Whoever you were communicating with? Just to
Yep.
close it out? That way we can maybe get an answer here tonight. But Neil, I completely agree with you. And it sounds like we're in agreement to correct that to, if it is 2.8.
How about
I
a
thought I heard
comma?
2.8 somewhere, but I don't remember where. So,
Question, same line. What about a comma after if not approved, comma?
Good.
I think it does have a comma in there. It did have a comma at one. There is a comma in there.
no, there isn't.
There
No,
isn't. It's
Let me,
not,
hold on, let me undo. That's what it looked like.
it's
The
not a-
comma in there.
Let me redo, comma. Fun time with grammar. Is there any other comments or input here?
I think just one space after the period is fine.
no, there must be two. I agree with the two spaces.
I think one other word probably should be entered on that line, which has the comma in it, or excuse me, on that sentence. At the end of that sentence, it's health premium increases.
So at the end, health premium increases here.
Yes, I think so. Now everybody can read it and see if
If not
that's
approved,
okay.
teachers' pay would remain at current levels with no step adjustments and possibly a small decrease due to health premium increases. Or a health premium increase, either or.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I that sounds correct. Where's Chris? Did we miss anything else? Yeah, I mean, if nobody else has any other comments, I think that just leaves us, I think we agree on the blurb and we just need to get the answer on the 2.8 versus the 2.3.
Mhm.
So, Bill, how do we want to handle this? Because normally I would send this to you right afterwards.
Oh, wait a minute. We never, the only thing is, let's go to the table. The preamble, our last discussion, we had I put them in 3 paragraphs. I sent it around like February 11th. I didn't hear anything back, so I'm assuming everybody was comfortable with that. But look at the Ware Finance Committee report, the boilerplate language. I did add a sentence in there.
Did you sent an edited version of that, didn't you recently?
I did today.
Okay, let me just see if I can find that here.
It's in the same email that you just took those warrant articles from.
There it is.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up.
And it has the adjustments in the table, which I guessed right on our voting tonight, and they reflect exactly what we voted on. The tables are now adjusted to reflect what we just voted on.
Bill, are you sure that 10.66 is correct for Ware schools? Because it should be less than the default. Or am I looking at an old one?
Let's see. No, you're looking at the current one. It's still 10, because what happens is the proposed budget goes down, but the teacher's contract goes up. It's
Oh,
still-
I get what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah, it's still 10.
All right.
So are
It
we-
actually comes out to be 1066.
All right.
So
I
I
was
just-
looking at, I had updated the Excel spreadsheet and I was like, wait, why am I off?
Yeah.
You're right. It is 1066. Okay. And I'm emailing the school and I am asking them, to clarify the 2.3% average teacher increase, as well as I'm asking them to verify these tax impacts, because I just want, before we put it in our mailer, because we don't have anything in writing with that they are correct. I know Bill talked to
I
Chris,
talked to Chris.
but just as like a second, like, this is right?
Yeah, and what they put up on the board tonight, it was there. It's
Yeah, I did see it, but
Yeah.
just to be sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I agree. That's why I called Chris today and I said, I want to make sure the number I'm using. In fact, it was a rounding error. I was 1 cent down and and 1 cent up on the other one, and he was one. We were both 1 cent off. I said, I'm just using what your numbers are, so we're consistent.
Guys, just so I'm on track, are we debating, are we talking about the 2.3 as it relates to this, to the preamble?
No,
Are we done with this
no, we're
blurb?
done with that.
No.
The
We're done with the blurb.
Oh, you guys segued and I didn't go with you.
Yep.
Fair enough.
If you just pull up the table's right, if you just pull up the preamble, I just want to make sure everybody's happy with, I put it into the 3 paragraphs we had talked about. I did add this bold section. You can take it out, but I wanted to show that, hey, our recommendations on proposed budgets are up for the 2 schools and down to a default in a town. But when you look at the 3 of them, it's like apportioned across 2.3, 2.54, 2.55. So it's all in the same ballpark for increases over the current budgets that they're operating under. If you don't want that in there, feel free to take it out. I just thought it was something else to throw in.
So to clarify for everybody, including me, who's losing steam here, this preamble is what we all agreed on with the exception for the bold, and we're just talking about whether we want to keep this, whether it's accurate and we want to keep it.
I think it's helpful to taxpayers to read this in this summary format. It's very helpful. And Bill's right. It shows a certain consistency in the increases.
Anybody else?
Hold on, I was typing. Let me go back and look at it. I
I think it's
apologize.
fine from my perspective.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay. A
I mean,
question.
if nobody, sorry, go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I wanted to address, if no one else wants to comment on that, I wanted to address a different issue.
In this paragraph?
No, the next paragraph.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Neil.
Okay. One of the things we don't talk about explicitly, although it's a little bit there, is the school's loss of revenue. In the middle paragraph, first, second, third sentence, the only thing we say about that is projected revenues are conservative. Well, that's true, but the real problem for the school districts has been the loss of revenue due to the school lunch imbroglio and the decrease in enrollment and its effect on state adequacy aid. We don't mention that here, and when we say the budgets are conservative, as I said, that's true, but it doesn't talk about the loss of revenue. I don't know that we should put it in, but I just wanted to bring it to folks' attention that that's a big hole here, or a big reason why our budgets are up as percentage-wise as much as they are. Not so much on the spending side. We're talking about relatively small increases at 2 to 3%, but on the revenue side, we really took it hard. $1 million or something, $1.5 million between the 2 schools.
I would say that if we do it, it just should be a straightforward statement and not try to get into detail on it, but just something like there has also been a loss of revenue in both school districts.
Due to?
I wouldn't even do that. I would just, straightforward because
Well,
we can get too much in detail, I think. It's just...
The problem, Tom, is that if you just say we've lost revenue, the question in my mind arises, okay, who's responsible for that? Did the district screw up? So if you say because enrollment is down and whatever else you want to say, that means it's not the district's fault. It's due to circumstances beyond their control.
Yeah, and I'm not arguing that. I just want to keep it as short as we can. But,
I agree.
Just revenues are down, and then just a couple of simple statements after that. Keep it short.
How about if we insert something brief here? It says mandated school and town costs to fund pensions combined with projected reduced revenues due to, and we just put a couple things in there, comma, have placed an increased demand on taxes.
Due to the enrollment, you can say enrollment declines, or due largely to enrollment declines.
Whoa, I can't spell. it's enrollment. Is that correct? Enrollment
Yeah, that's correct.
declines. Okay. See, what you're suggesting is due largely
Yeah.
to enrollment declines.
Yeah.
But there was one or two other or we just want to leave it as that?
Tom wants it simple, and so I'm focusing on the most significant cause.
I think that's simple.
That could be anything I throw in, that could be a double-edged sword. When people read enrollment decline, they may look at it and say,
So why is the budget going up?
why is the budget?
Yeah,
I just throw that out there, devil's advocate.
That's true. That's true.
that was going to be my comment. I think that there was a discussion on social media kind of about this, and it got confusing. Like, I think if you put it in there, then people think one way and it's actually the other way, and it just muddles the issue. And it gets very confusing. And if you're going to put something in there, then I feel like you need like a whole entire paragraph, or at least several sentences, explaining how adequacy works, and and that the decline in numbers, the school contributes largely to, COVID, and I
agree with Megan. I withdraw that. Delete that language. Yeah. Just leave it like that.
Taking my comma out too.
take your comma with you and go to bed.
Okay. I mean, good discussion, but it's gone. So, I mean, if we're good there, then I just basically unbold this.
Yep.
And I save. And so we're good.
Tom, will you send us copies of the new blurbs?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just send it to everybody, especially Bill. I'm sorry, Bill's got his hand up.
Yeah, no, I can do that. If you just send me the corrections, I kind of got them written down, but like you did last time, just same old, just send them to me, and then I'll blitz them out to everybody tonight, as a matter of fact, when I get home, because I got to get them to Naomi, right, by tomorrow. Is that right, Naomi?
Yeah. She's got a little bit, she has a little bit of leeway, but yes, she needs them tomorrow.
The only thing by the time I send them to Naomi first thing in the morning is the 2.3% for verification from the district.
As soon as I receive a response, I will let you know. The only other correction, and I know this is really stupid, there's too many spaces in between where and finance.
I'm sorry, are we
There's
on
one extra space
here?
on the report, on the where
there is.
finance committee report.
Done.
Really likes extra spaces.
Well,
I like two spaces. I don't know what to say.
Hey, just one other thing, to move on to, I wanted to make sure everybody got a look at that. We're not going in and delving into the Stark issues because they're there, but the preamble that I put there for Stark to go into
This one?
is everybody happy with that?
First time
Well,
I've seen it.
That was sent out with the, I think February 11th when I sent it out, but people might not have caught that.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that are we going to have a session? Because we don't know what's going to happen at their deliberative.
No, but we all agree, we got to put this out now because it affects the whole tax rate, when they can make
Yeah.
a big picture.
With the right, it was with the assumptions. Okay, so let's okay, so for me as a visual person, I'm going to do something here.
Yeah,
There we
good.
go.
There you go.
You want me to read it, or you guys just want to read it off my screen?
We can read it off the screen.
Okay.
That's.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, and I thought the asterisks were good on the chart also.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, yeah, the tax impact chart, I had that single asterisk in the comment. Stark tax impacts are based on draft warrant articles subject to change at deliberative session, tentatively scheduled in April.
Question.
Yeah.
Deliberative is mentioned twice without session afterwards. Is that normal?
It is when I write it. Doesn't make it right.
I think we're just putting in so much text that I think it's kind of like when you use an acronym. If you write it out the first
Yeah.
time, people know what it is the second time.
Yeah, I don't think you
This
need
is the
to.
opportunity to shorten and save a tree.
Yeah.
Have at it.
Okay, then. So what am I missing? Because I've been forgetful. Am I missing anything? As far as our blurbs, our preambles, warrants?
How about adjournment?
Yeah.
Well, I have a question just to reduce surprises coming later. I'm curious who's planning to create a mailer to invalidate all of our voting.
I am not.
I am not putting, no.
What is the thing they do politically when people pledge? I pledge not to, and then they do. I think it's non-binding, Tammy.
Well, I was just trying to reduce the surprises in my mailbox. That's all.
That doesn't mean somebody out there won't do it.
The reality is anybody can do
Anybody
it.
can
And
do
that's,
that. I mean,
I hope that,
you might get one in your mailbox. It won't be from.
I know
probably-
it could be, but it was half the committee last year, so it was quite the surprise.
yeah, well, here's what I would say to this. And I hope that we collectively as a committee this year feel like everybody was heard and had the chance. Sharing, it's hard to see.
They're
I'll
all
read-
there.
Let me see.
I can read it. Or,
Let me stop sharing.
Ah!
Oh, go ahead, Megan.
All right.
Please.
It's for Eileen. It says, quickly, and I hate to do it this way. I just want to say thank you for all your dedicated service to our taxpayers. I appreciated the way that you have worked together to thoroughly vet every single one of these articles, especially in these COVID times. I have been lucky enough to sit through every hour of your discussions. You did an amazing job. So again, thank you very much for all your
And
work.
thank you, Eileen, for being the moderator.
Yes.
So that said, I like you all, but I really hope that we don't have to meet in April.
Yep.
Unless it's for beers at Stark or General. So let's hope that doesn't happen. And in terms of the meeting minutes, we just got the drafts from Leah. I'll work with Leah. We at least need to get the drafts up because we're supposed to get them online. I am happy to go through and help with some of the grammatical errors. She struggled through it when she was sick, and we appreciate that. So I'll work with her if no one's opposed to try and help with the edits. And I don't know that there's any rules. I'll do some research to see if we can accept minutes, through email, if possible. That would be my preference. I don't want to call a meeting to go through meeting minutes, if you will.
In the past, the minutes have been approved by the first session in the fall when the committee reconvenes.
Oh, is that why we had one open? Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about doing it now.
Thanks for that. But I will, and obviously I'll look at the draft to get it
Yeah,
square.
I put a one correction in the chat tonight. It's disappeared, but I'll email it to you. It's a clarification.
Oh, no, it's there.
It is?
You scroll
Okay.
down, it says minutes of January. Actually, let's read this for Leah. I don't know if you can see it. It says minutes of January 26.
Yeah, that's,
Article 9 cannot
Mhm.
decrease the library budget solely on the basis of any offset by trust funds.
yeah, that was the clarification that I sent.
Okay, I just want to make sure Leah got that because I think
Can
we
you,
lose it after the meeting.
would you mind sending that to me by email so I can pull up that draft and I'll make that correction?
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
Thank
Did you just
you.
send that to Tom? Because I don't see anything like that in my chat.
I don't either.
Oh, but it says Christine Hague to everyone. Scroll up in the chat. It should be
Well,
at the
it
top.
did. And then my computer blew up on me and I'm on my husband's computer and I don't know where everything went, but I'll send it to Leah. And, I can copy everybody on it if you want. It's just a technicality, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
no,
No,
that's fine.
okay, so
Can I interrupt for a second, Tom?
Yeah, go ahead, Megan, of course.
All right, Jackie, well, actually, Chris Roy from the SAU wrote back, and he said that the figures are correct. So the average teacher rate is 2.3%. The where proposed tax impact is the 10.52 that we talked about. The default is the 10.54, and then the teacher contract is 14 cents. Just so what we have is correct according to the SAU.
Excellent. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
So that said, this is closed out as soon as the email goes to Bill and you all. I know you wanted copies of it. And we should be good to go.
Wow,
Go around the table one final time just to make sure nobody has anything that I cut them off with. Sorry, Chris.
I just said thank you.
How about thank
You're
you, Naomi, for being
Yeah.
Oh
on all of
God,
our
yeah, thank you,
Zooms.
Naomi.
Yes,
As I said it
thank you,
before,
Naomi.
our Zoom meetings, man, you got it squared away. Thank you so much.
Oh, I
Tom,
appreciate
those
working with
beers
all
in
you
the
guys.
spring,
Thank
a
you.
pledge?
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Tom?
Are those beers in the spring a pledge on your part?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on over. I'll light the fire.
You're my neighbor. I'm just gonna head right over.
Tammy, it's easy for you. You can walk. Anytime if the patio lights are on, it's all good. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been enjoyable. I appreciate it personally. And again, hope we don't have to meet in April, but we'll see you at the voting booths.
All right,
Yes,
sounds good.
thank
We're
Thank
going to
you.
adjourn this meeting at 9:44 p.m.
Awesome. Thank
I
you.
know.
All right, thanks.